And we are live with the first ever Netrunner stream on the channel, which is kind of weird because Netrunner is probably my favorite game of all time, at least probably my favorite card game of all time. Last year, I had the most competitive success I've had in Netrunner ever. But at the end of the year, I had a bit of, I guess you could say, Netrunner fatigue. Played too much, got a bit tired of it, had to take a break. Then the new cards were released, and I wasn't that excited about the decks that emerged. But now there's recently been a new ban list, and I'm pretty excited to play the game again. It feels fresh, it feels cool. There's a lot to explore. I've been away from it for a while. The stream today will start by trying to help an uninitiated person get acquainted with the game a little bit. But after that part, it will be more just, I guess you could say, for the people who already know Netrunner, there will be gameplay, me analyzing the lines, referencing a lot of card names that you may not know if you are new. But hopefully the first part should at least give you enough information to feel like you can follow along, or at least whet your appetite for the game. Yes, if you don't know, Android Netrunner is, Netrunner is a deck building game, but it's existed in many forms. Way back in 1996, the first version of this game was released, and back then it was a trading card game where you bought booster packs, just like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and so on. But that didn't last for very long. The game was re-released in 2012 by Fantasy Flight Games, then called Android Netrunner, because they put it in their Android universe. They lost the license for Netrunner in 2018, and since then it was resurrected by an organization that was originally called Nisei, now Null Signal Games. They released their first fan-made set in 2019. You could say Nisei is like a collective of fans, sort of the game, but they basically keep the game alive by selling the game in a non-profit way. And they've been releasing sets since 2019, and in my opinion, they're doing a great job. They're the reason where you still have an evolving metagame, and they organize tournaments and all that cool stuff. You can find a link to their website in the description. And so the game has died and been resurrected a few times. To me, it's an amazing game. And again, it's a deck building game in the way it exists in Android, since Android Netrunner, since the Fantasy Flight version. It's a game where it's always been an asymmetric game. So one player plays as a runner, sort of a hacker that tries to get into the other player's servers, the corporation, and steal their agendas to win the game. And the other player is the corporation doing evil stuff and trying to score their agendas to get points and win the game. So it's asymmetric, and there's a faction system. So for example, on the runner side, you always start the game with a so-called identity card in play, which gives you a special power. And then there's different factions. So you can play, for example, as a runner, there are 6 different factions, 3 main factions and 3 mini factions. And the different factions have different colors on the cards. In a game like Hearthstone, you cannot include any cards from a different class, but in Netrunner, there is a point system. So each identity has an amount of points, and those are points that you can use to include cards from other factions, and then the cards themselves can have an influence cost listed on the card. This card, for example, has an influence cost of 5. So if this card doesn't match your faction, you can still put it in your deck by using 5 of your influence points. So it's kind of a cool system that allows you to import some stuff from other factions, but you can't import whatever you want. Yeah, so that's a short intro of what kind of game it is. So it's very it's similar in a few ways to the other games I've covered on the channel so far, Hearthstone and Harry Potter TCG, but I would say it's much more complex. And there's a very high skill ceiling, but it's a very intense sort of poker chess-like game. And what I'm going to do is jump straight into a game, and I will sort of explain some basic rules. I will not explain all of the rules today because that would be a giant mess. If you want to learn how to play the game, there are other resources out there for that. But at least this should give you a little bit of an understanding. After this initial game, I will talk about the deck that we are playing today, why we're playing this deck, some thoughts on the game overall right now. Yeah, so you can play this game for free on jinteki.net. And today we are playing this deck that I call Hungry for Cards. So we're gonna queue up a game, and there may be both new and old people here. I will try to answer any questions, but I may not do so during the game. So whenever I have some time over, I will answer questions. Otherwise, it will be play-by-play commentary, going through the thoughts of the game, explaining. The first game is where I will be explaining actual game mechanics, and the rest will just be me playing and talking. So when you queue for a game, of course, you have to wait for someone to join. All right, so yeah, as I said, it was originally a game that used booster packs, a booster pack model. Since Fantasy Flight took over, and this is still the case, it's an expansion-based game, meaning that if you bought all of the expansions of the game, then you have all the cards you need to build whatever deck you want. And in my opinion, this is the very best way to play a collectible card game, because you're not arbitrarily making it harder for people to play the game. For a guy like me who just loves to deck build and wants to have access to all the cards, it's really the only affordable way to play a card game, and I just love that this game is doing that. And beyond just having a very nice price model, it is a game that's just, yeah, as I mentioned, there's no game that feels quite as interactive as Netrunner, in my opinion. Yeah, I feel like this game has a way to produce tension that no other game does, especially in tournament games. All right, we got an opponent. There we go. Actually, I wonder if the sound for Jinteki is on. All right. So we got an opponent. So your identity card lists how many cards you have minimum in your deck, and you are allowed one mulligan. So this hand I will mulligan. Then the rest of the game, let me actually bring up some I had some very nice things over here, basically listing the basic actions you can take in the game. So the game uses something called clicks. Clicks are basically the actions you have on your turn, and the runner has 4 clicks each turn, and this card that I put on screen, runner basic actions, those are the things the runner can do with their clicks. From the start of the game, there are things that can give you more things you can do with your clicks. And on the other side, we have the corp actions. So these cards over here are basically the servers for the corp. You have HQ representing the hand of the corp, R&D the deck, and archives the discarded cards. And those are called servers, and those are central servers, the one he starts with. The corp can also create new servers by installing cards like he did over here. And they can put eyes in front of servers that are basically cards protecting a server. So one of the things I can do with my clicks is draw a card. So that will be the first one. All right. So yes. So first click, we drew a card. Second click, I'm going to play this card, Dirty Laundry. Lets us make a run. A run is basically when you attack a server in the game. And if you make a run on a server with no ice in front of it, you basically can have the run be successful automatically. When you do make a successful run, usually you access cards. And when it comes to HQ, you access one random card. So we access one that does bad stuff to us. We have to take 1 core damage or add it to our score area as minus points. And the goal of the game is to get to 7 points. And as a runner, you do that by stealing, accessing and stealing your opponent's agendas. So let's add this to our score area. And then let's install these two. So that's another basic action the runner has, installing cards. And beyond clicks, a resource you have is credits. So here on the website, you have your credits listed, and the credit cost of a card is in the upper left corner on the runner cards. So now he used his basic corp action to advance this card that he had installed. That is something you can do on installed cards. Agendas can be advanced by default, and if you have every time you advance a card, you put an advancement counter on it, and if you ever match the value in the let me actually remove this so you can see the agenda card. Let me full screen this. There you go, and let's remove this. Put it down here maybe. So yeah, just gonna put thinking. Yeah, so you can see this Hyperloop extension has a 3 up in the upper right corner. That is how many advancements you need on it to score it. So the corp can score an agenda on their turn if they are matching this number. So now he's at 1 point, and this also had an effect when he scores it. So some agendas have effects in the score area when you play them. So let's yes, okay. So I have a card here that we can play costing 6 credits. It's a hardware. And it does it has a special ability when we access a card and we do not trash it the first time each turn. So let's play it and run HQ for our second action. So you can also make runs by just spending a click, as you can see on this runner basic action card. So we accessed an agenda, and when you do, you steal the agenda. So that is worth 1 point. And now I have to take 1 core damage. So I'm noticing I'm definitely making mistakes because I'm talking and playing at the same time. But that's okay. So I think we'll just... So another thing you can do with your clicks is to take credits. So I'll do that. So the special ability on his identity is if we steal an agenda, he does 1 core damage to us unless we spend a click and 2 credits. So I was low on credits, so I could not pay that cost and ended up taking a core damage. A core damage means you lose a card from your hand, and also your hand size is permanently lowered by 1. So it's not the greatest. Also, if you don't have cards and you take damage, then you lose the game. It's called a flat line, so that's another way you can lose. I don't know if I mentioned this, but first player to 7 points wins the game. So Corp has 3 clicks per turn, and they draw a mandatory card at the start of their turn. Okay, so I want to try to trigger this Maw. It only triggers if we access a card, but we do not steal or trash it. So we're gonna run HQ again, means we access a random card. So we did access a card that's not an agenda, which means we don't steal it. If you access a card that has a trash can on it, you can pay as many credits as it says on the trash can to get rid of the card, but this one doesn't have a trash can. Operations rarely do. So we're just gonna do nothing. And this triggers the Maw because we didn't steal or trash a card. And I guess I'm satisfied then. So, because we triggered Maw, I'm just gonna install this daily cast, a resource card that, yeah, has, resources are just cards that you put into play. Really, program cards, hardware cards, and resources are basically the same. Okay, so he played the Biotic Labor, giving, which is an operation. So operations is something a corp can spend a click on, and pay the credit cost, and then you do whatever they say, and then they go into archives. So you can see it's now in his archives. And that gave him an extra click, so he had 4 clicks. So he could use 1 click to install an agenda, 3 more clicks to advance it, and then score it. This one normally requires 4, but it requires 1 less for each core damage the runner has, so he was able to score this one. Okay, so we get a card from our runner ability for free. This is one I haven't explained, but we don't have to think about that right now. So we can start by playing the Sure Gamble, click 1. Events are just like operations, but for the runner. We make another run. So if we make a run on the server with ice, the corp can res the ice, meaning turning it up and basically activating it, but that usually costs money. So he has 2 credits, so he might be able to activate something if we run on R&D. But I have a hard time thinking of an ice that we are scared of that only costs 2 credits. So I'm going to run R&D to give you an example of that, what that looks like. So when you make a successful run on R&D, by default you access the top card. So we access this card, Drafter and Ice card, the ones that you install in front of servers as protection. And we can't trash it. It doesn't have a trash can. So we said no action, and this triggers Maw. And now we have 2 more clicks. So I can play this event, Deuces Wild, for 2. Lets us choose 2 things among these options. And we'll draw a card with the first one, then gain 3 credits. And last click, I think we will install this card, Botulus. So the cards that we install. Wait, it says bottom of the cards can't be seen. I see. Let me. Oh, thank you for pointing that out. That's very nice of you. It should be good now, I think. So he spent 2 clicks to take credits. And then he installed a new ice in front of R&D. We know what the ice is, because we just saw it off the top of R&D. Well, it could also be a card that he just drew from that he already had in HQ. Okay. All good. Yeah, thank you. Right, so yeah, so I was saying programs, hardware, and resources kind of all work the same, sort of. You can pay a certain credit cost to install them, and then they stay on the board until something tells them to be trashed. Typically, they have some different use cases. Like programs have a memory cost. The runner starts with 4 memory, and if you ever exceed that memory, you have to trash programs until you stay within the boundaries. But we have, as you can see down here, we're only using one of our memory slots right now. Yeah, so I kind of want to. We have a nice play, I think. So we can play this hippo, Stargate. Third click, we play boomerang. And maybe we'll finally see an ice card being rest. So new players get to see what that looks like. No, it was not rest. So when we make a run, we will approach all of the ice on the way to the server. And whenever we face an ice that's already rest, then we will encounter that ice, and then things will happen. But since it wasn't rest, we get to access the server. This time we used a special ability to make a run, so instead of accessing, we're trashing a card. Yeah, thank you, Harald. I will move that, so you can see the score area. That's better. Okay, so I will trash the top card. So Stargate allows us to make a run, and it replaces our normal access with seeing 3 cards from the top. So he's installing 2 cards. So these servers that he's creating are called remote servers, or you can just create new servers as the corp by installing cards. So draw a card, click 1. One of these is probably Rashida Jahim that we just saw. This was another Nightmare Archive, so we had to take a core damage to get -1 point. And this card has to be Rashida, which we want to trash. And I'm going to use the Stargate again. So we get rid of this Spin Doctor, I think. We draw for the turn. Use Stargate again. So I think we want to get rid of the most annoying ice. Fairchild. I can use this event Mad Dash. Allows us to make a run, and if we access an agenda during it, we add Mad Dash as an extra point to our hand. And we saw the agenda on the top with the Stargate. All right. We still have a click. I'll just draw a card. So right now, because I'm explaining the rules and stuff, I'm not thinking that much about making the most optimal plays. as experienced players will probably notice. Okay, I'll try to run this new card that he played. So when you run a remote server, I didn't explain this before. If you run a remote server, you will just access all of the cards in the remote server. And the corp can do things during a run, like rest cards, use paid abilities, like this Spin Doctor, for example, can remove himself from the game to shuffle 2 cards from archives into R&D. Oh, yeah. Okay, Harald, I will listen to you, and I will move my face. This should be perfect. Sorry. First time streaming Netrunner, so it's harder than it looks. Okay. I'll use Stargate again. So this is this symbol that is on Stargate, that is the click symbol, the same one that you see on the cards here. Oh, actually, I made a huge mistake, but this allows me to demonstrate something. So I was thinking I had a an icebreaker that I could use to break this ice in my heap. And this one is an icebreaker that I can actually install from my heap. But we don't have a way to break this ice. And the way ice works is if we encounter a rest ice, so in this case he chose to pay the cost to rest this ice, then we will encounter the ice, and then each of the arrows on the card is called a subroutine, and those are things that will happen from the top one to the bottom one, resolved in that order, unless we have a way to break the card. Now I don't have a way to break the card, so I'm gonna let that card fire, and he gets to do both the things listed on it. So it says he can add a card from Archives to HQ, and also he can install a card from Archives or HQ, and ignore all costs. And installing a card only costs something when you're installing ice in front of other ice. The corp has to pay extra money for each ice that's before it. Okay. Let's get rid of this agenda, I guess. And I think maybe I've been greedy enough with this fermenter. It's a card that gets a virus counter every turn, and then you can use a click and trash it to gain 2 credits for each hosted virus counter. But the corp has a base action, as you can see on the card on the screen, to use 3 clicks to purge virus counters, meaning removing all virus counters. So I think we want to do this before he does that. But first I can play this card moshing, trashing 3 cards from our hand, then drawing 3 cards and gaining 3 credits. So let's do that. 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to use this fermenter. So we'll gain 16 credits. So that's pretty good. All right, so installing, making 2 new remote servers here. And we have 1 billion agendas in our score area, but 2 of them are minus points. So we're actually only at 1 point right now. Now we discarded these 2 programs that are so-called icebreakers. Those are cards that can actually break ice subroutines, which is really important to have eventually. So you don't just let the ice fire when you're trying to attack a server. So he installed 3 new cards on his turn. And we want to be triggering Maw. Yeah, let's... I know he has Rashida somewhere. So I want to find the Rashida. The Jupe stat grid. We are incredibly rich, so I guess we could afford to trash that. It's an upgrade, and upgrades... so the corp, when they install cards in servers, each server can have any number of upgrades, but you can only have 1 asset or 1 agenda in the server. So we already know how the agendas work. Assets are sort of like upgrades. You can rest them, but and they have a trash cost. But there can only be 1 instead of the upgrades where you can have any amount. So I'll trash this. Tube stack grid. We'll run server 8 as well. We want to find this Rashida. So we stole an agenda, so we have to pay. I guess I am a little bit worried about running now, because if we take another, if we steal an agenda now, we can't afford to pay the click to prevent the core damage. So instead we'll just install this Paladin Poema resource and pass back to him. So I haven't explained our identity, but basically if she's on the starting side, and we access a card during our turn, she will flip to the other side, and we gain 2 credits. And then if we did not access any cards, she will flip back to the other side. While she's on this side, she gives us a card when her turn begins, but we lose a credit. So he's playing Fast Break, an operation for 4, allowing him to gain credits equal to the amount of cards in a score area, then draw cards equal to the amount of cards in a score area, then he can install cards in a server equal to the amount of cards in a score area. Since we have 6 cards in our score area, that's a lot of stuff. Yep. So he did a lot of things there. He played a biotic lever to gain an extra click after installing all this stuff. And he also had the time to rest the dupe stat grid that says if he scores a card from this server, then we take 1 core damage. So now we have 2 core damage. And that's kind of annoying because he has this agenda that makes us take more... that's easier to score the more core damage we have. We know that he has, or I think he still has some agendas in hand. We saw him draw one of them before, Global Food Initiative, so let's attack HQ for our first click. Meridian. He loses a card to Maw. And that card was actually Meridian. So when we trash corp cards, if they were face up, they go into archives face up. If they were face down, they go into archives face down. Then when we run archives, all the face down cards in archives will be turned face up if we make a successful run, and then we will access all of the cards in archives. So whenever we want, we could go and pick up this agenda, but there is also other stuff that we would access then. Some of that could be nasty things that we don't want to access. So we run HQ and the click. Okay. Actually, now I have to check what a particular card does. Mr. Hendrick. Because I think that's what he has installed in his... Oh, never mind. Let me check over here instead. So we got... Hendrick? There we go. Okay, so we might just take a core damage if we run that. Mr. Hendrick is an upgrade that if we access it, he can pay 2 to do a core damage to us. And if we have clicks left, we can lose our remaining clicks to do it. Yeah, he's actually running attack. But instead, yeah, I guess we're in a bit of a pickle here. And again, not making the ideal place, but that's fine. So we'll just take a credit and hope that he doesn't have this ontological dependence, because then he could score it right now. So instead he plays the Spin Doctor that could allow him to shuffle back some agendas from archives that we have trashed. So we will run this Spin Doctor, force him to use it. Now, the question is if there's an agenda in this server or if there's another Mr. Hendrick. Because if there's another Mr. Hendrick, we will definitely take core damage. Yeah, let's try to run this server. Oh, and we don't have a breaker for this ice, so it will fire. And then the subroutine said that we have to let him gain 4 and end the run, or we have to add this as a minus point to our score area. Which I will do, even though it hurts. Oh, it was a Rashida. So this one we want to trash. Oh, and it was not the card that I expected. So we don't trash this one, and that can trigger Maw for us. And we can run HQ to go fishing for agendas, I think. Let's try that. Was a good result. Found an agenda. This guy, when he has more than 3 credits on him, says we have to discard one of our cards. Or trash him. So let's get rid of him. So it's 4 points to 4 points, but we are not in a great position. Well, except our opponent only has 1 card left in the deck. And if a corporation cannot draw a card, when they're supposed to, they lose the game. So he might actually have shot himself in the foot here. Because we could use Stargate to trash the last card in the deck if he doesn't win this turn. So that looked a bit risky to me. But maybe he has a combo here that wins. He could, if he has another one of those grids that lets him do core damage when he scores an agenda, he might just be able to score out this turn. But I don't see it right away, because he only has 1 click left. Yeah, so Fast Break is drawing him 9 cards at this point. Drawing based on how many things we have in our score area. And now he can install any amount of cards in a remote server. Ice in front of the server. Okay, that is a lot of stuff. So question is if he can if he can do something more this turn. Because he only has 1 more click. So I don't think he can score an agenda. Because all his agendas, this one requires 2 to score. Because we have 2 core damage, this ontological dependence also requires 2 to score. Oh. So he says he needed to draw the last card in his deck to combo off this turn. And he decides to just deck himself. Okay, that was lucky. So we luckily got a win in the first game. I was barely piloting. I was mainly focused on trying to get through most of the rules. That didn't really explain everything. We didn't get to break an ice card. But of course, if you're interested in the game, you can look up how you can break ice in the game and how the structure of a run works. That might be the most complicated part, apart from knowing when the corp can turn rest cards and stuff like that, what the timing windows are. But you saw generally how the game works, at least. So now I will get into actually talking about the deck that we're playing today, do more of a talk for the initiated people. But I will take a short break first, so I will be right back in just like 1 or 2 minutes. All right, and we are back. So now we're gonna actually look at the deck we're playing today. But yes, first of all, let me give some background, and also about the stream in general. I'm part of a testing group, so just full disclosure, we have some test group secrets that I cannot share, but there's a lot that I can share. And when it comes to secrets, things are always revealed after a while when tournaments are played and stuff, and then everything will be talked about. But the thing I'm talking about today is very related to the latest ban list, which also got me excited to play again. So we, as we all know, Endurance was banned. There were some other cards that were banned that were making Corp prison strategies pretty popular. The Nanisivik Grid and Drago Ivanov were played in 2 different prison decks. And 2 runner cards were banned as well, Endurance and Cabanessa Wu. So before in Hoshiko, which is what we're playing today, normally would play Endurance, or Boat as people like to call it, giving you a bunch of, just letting you break ice very easily. And in my view, since this ban list dropped and since I got back into the game, I've had kind of a hard time finding a runner that's really seems worth it. So I'm still... Oh, actually, let me remove these action cards. Now we're talking to people who know these basic actions. Yeah, so a lot of runners were relying on the boat, and now it's sort of a struggle to find a runner that, I don't know, does what you want it to do. So this is the runner that we're playing today, called Hungry for Cards. And I guess the problems for runners is that the ban list before the last one, a lot the drip economy for runners was banned, basically. So it's hard to have sustained income, and now also with the boat being banned, it's you're not as efficient at breaking ice. So it seems like corps have actually can be able to tax runners now, and I feel like a wide array of corp strategies are viable. So getting back into the meta with a fresh mindset, this is what this is one of the things that started looking promising to me. And it's just, what we always return to is just a pretty solid Anarch deck, because Anarchs have a lot of economy and draw. They can get their things rolling fast, and they have ways to disrupt their opponent. So in this deck, we have Maw to disrupt our opponent, trashing random cards, and we have Stargate as well to disrupt our opponent, and these can be combined with Mad Dash to get extra points. And then you have a great combination of Maw that gives us a value for making runs, combined with our identity also giving value for making runs. And if we have Dreamnet installed, then not only can you be trashing cards with Maw, you can also get to draw a card and gain a credit when you're doing so. And Anarch has some nice ways to deal with ice. We have Hippo to make it harder for a server to be completely defended, because if there's only one piece of ice on the server, we can use the Hippo to chip through all of the ice on the server, get rid of it, and get free Maw triggers, and then the corp basically has to plug that hole. Now, with Boat gone, we don't have that super efficient way of breaking ice, so we have our bin breakers that we can get into the bin with moshing, or just pitching them to the bin. Sealskin Scarring can also be combined with moshing. This is one of the things that makes Anarch so good at drawing cards. And you have Botulus to break ice efficiently, but we are spending up to 3 memory on our bin breakers and 2 memory on a Stargate, and sometimes we're also spending memory on fermenters. So I'm only playing one botulus to sort of top out our rig. You could be playing more if you want to, but if you have a complete rig with Stargate, botulus, and your breakers, then you're using all of your memory, because Maw gives you 2 extra memory. And then, so we're supplementing our ice-breaking abilities with Boomerang. So we're importing that from the criminal faction. And we're using our influence to have, well, things that give us more burst money. Bravado, because we want to be making value runs. Bravado makes those runs even better. And then we also have DJ Fenris that can recur important cards, get our Bravados back or whatever, to get a little bit more sustainability, makes us a little less vulnerable to net damage strategies. So that's what we're playing today. So now I'm just gonna jump into games and talk through my thought process as we go. But I'm not claiming to have this meta figured out by any means. It's all very fresh to me. And yeah, so I'm learning with you guys as we are playing. And again, I will try to answer questions if there are any when there's a window. In general, I'm very happy with the new ban list. Game feels more exciting. Yeah, before when I was trying to play the corps that I like to play, it wasn't, the meta was just not allowing for it. And now it feels like with these cards banned, it should be basically a completely fresh experience. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the meta looks like when it solidifies. What will be the best corps and runners. When it comes to runners, that's what I'm the most interested in, because that seems really difficult right now. It seems like on the corps side, you can do a lot of things in a viable way. Fast advance is viable. Net damage is viable with PE. I feel like there should be a way to play Glacier in a viable way, like maybe out of Asmari now that boat doesn't just wreck all your ice. That may not be the most powerful thing, but certainly an option. And oh, actually, let's go full screen with this. And yeah, you could probably play maybe some kind of CTM build as well as Corp. So it's difficult to tech against everything. There are also old decks like the Snare Bears, Agin Fusion, Dice to Doomblade kind of build that just makes a remote where you cannot interact with the ice using the combo. Did you to Yushi in the chat? I might be able to zoom in more, but I'm not. We'll see when I get in game. Because sometimes there's a lot of stuff on the board, and then if you zoom in, then you won't be able to see everything, unfortunately. But yeah, so in that, the Agin Fusion deck is using Trieste. So this one you use to make a Bioroid ice unbreakable, and then you have Loki, which is the actual Bioroid ice. Then Loki, he can copy another ice when you res him. So you can make him into one of your big nasty ice like Shiashi that deals a lot of net damage. And you can make Loki unbreakable. And then you might say, well, just don't run the server with Loki. But the problem is they play Agin Fusion. So they can use Agent Fusion's ability to send you right into the Loki and deal 4 net damage to you, which means eventually you run out of cards, and also makes it very hard to steal Avocado Protocol, because if you're taking 4 net damage and then you're trying to go and steal an agenda after that, that's kind of difficult. Not a lot of people on JNet. No one is joining the game. Maybe one of the viewers feels up to it. I don't know. So I guess the game sound is not audible for the audience. Is that correct? And is that something you guys want to hear, the game sound? I can try to add that. I think maybe the tab gives sound by default, but I'm not sure. Damn, there's not a lot of people on JNet right now. Well, anyone in chat have something in particular they want to talk about? So I guess I can show another deck that I'm working on that doesn't seem very good. Yeah, I mean, if I was playing Corp, it just might be PE. Expect that for the next stream. But it's a good deck for sure. But I didn't expect people to be this scared, you know? Yeah, so this is the deck that I'm working on for Shaper that doesn't seem good at all. But hopefully, I don't know. I'm still trying it out. So, oh no, never mind. We have someone joining. There we go. Kisra. So we're up against Asmari that I just mentioned. So, and Asmari is usually built as, oh, she heard my cry for help. This is a good starting hand. I think usually Asmari names events and gets extra money from that, but we have resources and stuff that can get around that. So Asmari can be played in a glacier build, but sometimes they also play it in an extremely kind of glass cannon type of way where you try to kill them with a Neurospike combo. Yeah, maybe I need to smurf to get games. I don't know. To ask her in the chat. All right, so yeah, event was called. Now, so the question is, how careful are you supposed to be here? Because if it is one of those Asmari lists with HHN, then you don't really want to be running the first turn and then installing a bunch of stuff to go to 0 credits and then gain 4 tags. but it's so incredibly tempting. But you just might die immediately if you do that. So I could run HQ, then install these and go to 0. But that is incredibly risky. Although, yeah, at the same time... Oh, am I too loud? Sorry. Maybe this is better. Yeah. At the same time... Yeah, I can delay running for a turn to make it less risky. And just play the daily cast and install the fermenters. And this just draw with the other click. So we draw, install. So we will chill a little bit because we do not know yet what kind of Aspire list this is. Oh, the JNet. Okay, I'm gonna turn down the JNet volume. Sorry. I hope it will be better now. Advancing. So this kind of looks like the list that was played in UK, where you have a lot of 4-2 agendas, Off-World Office and Artificial Crypto Crash. All right. So we can't really run this. So they can score that next turn, probably. If it's a crypto crash, we don't want to gain a lot of money because all of it will be removed when it's scored. So we draw. Okay, this is even better to hedge against crypto crash. So we can take a credit, install the data cast, and go to 0. So if it's a crypto crash, we don't lose any money. Oh, but alright, they're playing a seamless, so it was a Bologna. But yeah, this confirms that it is that kind of list. That list does play hard-hitting news. Although it doesn't have a kill package. Just self-growth program and market forces. So still, I'm a bit wary of running. But I think at this point it's worth it, and we could stay out of hard-hitting news range. So we could, for example, take a credit, play DreamNet, play Dirty Laundry on HQ, then we get a draw from DreamNet, we get the Hoshiko trigger. We'll be at 5, and we pop the fermenter to go to 11. Hoshiko flips, we go to 13 and have a link. Which, this seems good. So it's not ideal to pop fermenter yet, but at the same time, we want to start getting value from our identity at some point. So I think that's a decent idea. If I'm not missing something. We access the gaslight, okay. Get a lot of money and flip Hoshiko. Yeah, of course, it is not super ideal to give Asmari money when you're doing a turn where you're only playing one event. Typically, the way you stop Asmari from gaining a bunch of value is you play all the events in one turn. Okay, they install, draw a card, Ice HQ. Alright. So because they're seamless in the deck, this could just be... a crypto crash. But this might be one of those turns where we just play a lot of events. We can boomerang on HQ, Laundry HQ, get a card from DreamNet. We'll be at 3 cards. Maybe it's not ideal. Maybe not this turn. Yeah, I think maybe we wait one turn, prepare a little bit more. So there we have another event we can play later. And we draw a card. Yeah, so now we have a bunch of events to play next turn. But now we have to kind of preemptively install the boomerang, which is not ideal. But yeah, we don't want to be discarding a card. So we just take a credit, pass. Okay, it's the Gaslight that we saw. And I guess in this deck, it's used to get seamless launch, to make that whole plan of never advancing agendas more sustainable. Oh, actually, it's economic warfare. Interesting. Okay. So we drew DJ Frienders with Hoshiko. We can play the Moshing to see a lot of cards. But it would be kind of nice to draw with DreamNet first. Because if we do, we might draw something that we'd rather pitch with Moshing. Okay, let's Bravado HQ. Okay, it's ping, so we take a tag. So probably have to dedicate a click to getting rid of that. We access hard-hitting news. And I guess we want to shuffle the boomerang back since we still haven't found our breakers. It's a little bit sad. Like, Fenris is kind of nice. Because HQ is so weak that maybe we could get a lot of cards back. So if we play the Moshing here, we would be basically gaining a card, being at 7. We would have to discard something if we want to clear the tag, which I do. Yeah, maybe incorrect, but I'll Moshing away the events because we can pitch a bin breaker. Yeah, so we drew a paperclip, which will let us get into HQ next turn. And then we can play a daily cast, remove a tag, pitch a paperclip. So the agenda will be scored, but next turn we can play Fenris and Maw and attack HQ, I think. So at least we're gonna start to interact. Okay, no, they prefer to get rid of our virus counters. I mean, our fermenter was getting up there, and it was gonna provide a lot of value. So now we have to calculate a little bit here. So if we play Maw Fenris and we run HQ, that's gonna be 13 credits to install everything. Puts us at 12. And we have to break for 1 credit. Puts us at 11. And Maw will trash 1 card. So we gain 1 credit back from DreamNet to put us at 12, and we can click for 2 credits. Yeah, or we can get Bravados back and run again, not caring that they get money from Asmari, and then just also play the Sure Gamble. That seems pretty nice too. Oh, never mind, we don't have enough clicks for that. But we're still going for this. So we breach and get a fermenter off the draw. And what do we want back? I think Bravados. Access economic warfare. And looks like that was also trashed by Maw, so we are less scared of hard-hitting news now. We know there's a hard-hitting news, but there probably isn't 2 economic warfares anymore. So if there is one, let's write thinking. If there is one economic warfare, we will be at 8 credits after that. And then they can play hard-hitting news. Yeah, I guess we don't want to be playing any of these cards anyway right now, because it just makes hard-hitting news cheaper. Of course, playing hard-hitting news and going low for them means we probably can steal whatever this is. Yeah, well, so to Patrick, I was not playing Netrunner in my kitchen for a very long time. Yeah, it's literally kitchen meta, kitchen table Netrunner. So we pitched the paperclip. But yeah, I've moved around my desk a bunch. It used to be in the bedroom. That felt very closed in, very closed space. So moved to the living room, but I made the living room kind of a miserable space to hang out in, and now it's back into the kitchen where I feel like it fits the best and also fits the channel name. So they're still playing economic warfare and then hard-hitting news, boosting to 11. Okay. Interesting. That is a lot of money invested. And they are naming event. Yeah, so I'm wondering now, with the amount of dedication this deck seems to have to tag me, if it's this version is now on boom. So there is, of course, always the option to just go tag me, because we can maw away whatever cards are in the hand. Well, we can get rid of one of them, but that, of course, doesn't guarantee that we don't get boomed. But then on the other hand, if there is a boom, we could just run HQ again and trash it. So that seems fine. So then they would have to top deck boom. Yeah, boom. Boom is good when the runner has 2 tags. So they can top deck boom, but yeah, then they kind of just have to get lucky. Yeah. Yeah, boom is really good as long as the runner has at least 2 tags and less than 7 cards in hand. I mean, okay, what could actually... the other consideration here is if we go for this agenda, what could... what ice could actually stop us from getting in? Like, ping doesn't stop us. IP block doesn't stop us. Turnpike doesn't stop us. I'm not sure what this list is on. Enigma, maybe? And then they go even lower in credits? Is that the idea? Still forcing a risk could make sense. We still have enough clicks to trash any booms if it is Enigma and we lose a click. And because we're tagged, they can trash our resources, but we don't care that much about that, I guess. Okay, we're just gonna try it. So we want to see the Enigma. It is Turnpike. Yeah, we take a tag. And we don't install this. So we can steal any agenda. Oh, but it's not an agenda. That makes sense. So we run HQ. We need to make sure there's no boom. Break this. We can get a dirty laundry back. Do we trash the spin doctor? I mean, we don't need to, right? We can just run again. Because, yeah. So let's see. So the spin doctor was trashed. And then we can laundry HQ. Find out what this is. Seamless launch that we get rid of. So now the play is to just hope that they don't draw a boom, I guess. Lol, okay. Well, never lucky. That's what I get for taking risks. All right. Well, let's go for another game. Well, yeah, I just figured, yeah, I guess getting to 6 tags is bad because then it takes 2 more turns to actually clear. A bit risky, I guess. A bit greedy. Yeah, maybe not necessary. The play was trash doctor run MD? What's MD? I feel slow today. All right. We got an opponent. Oh, is this catch Chen from the chat? So we mulligan this. We have too many programs we can't use. And this starting hand is not great. But hopefully we can draw into something good with the deuces here. Yeah, so Asa lists, I don't know what kind of stuff they're running right now, but Sandberg is something I've seen around. Draw 2, gain 3. So triggering Hoshiko is good, and money is good. Ah, okay. Cool, yeah, it was nice playing against you. Maybe I took the risky play, the too risky play. Got punished immediately. Sometimes you're greedy when you don't need to be greedy. That's one of the things. Like even if maybe the chances of getting hit by boom wasn't high, it wasn't a risk that I had to take. So why take it? All right, so we'll draw Laundry HQ to trigger Hoshiko. Big deal. Huh, do we want to trash this? Probably not. It's not relevant for a while. But it means it's probably one of those Nasex Asa kind of builds. And the question is, do we want to put this Botulus on something? Maybe Botulus the remote. I think that seems good. Yeah, because if we can trash this Nico that was just rest, it limits the... It kind of cripples the economy of the Asa. Okay, just using ID for ICE installs. And hedge fund. Huh. Yeah, so we have a nice play here. We can play Maw Dirty Laundry in HQ. Get a trash. Of course, there's Spin Doctor to shuffle back any agendas that may be trashed, but still, we want to chip away at those cards. And after that, we'll be at 5 credits, so we have enough to trash the Nickel campaign. So let's go through. Ansel. And we also hit the Ansel with Maw. Let's run the Nico. Trashing it also limits the effectiveness of fully operational. And install the Poemu for future value. We don't expect hard-hitting news in this kind of matchup. So we can go low. Drawing to install, okay. Yeah, here's the downside of Hoshiko. We get cards, but we're poor. Didn't, I guess, get enough burst economy early on, because now it's like we can keep trashing cards with Maw, but we'll be very poor. So we can run, maybe get a trash and get some more and click for credits. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem great. Maybe taking a turn here to flip back would be good, because then next time we flip, we get 2 credits. So we can take a draw, and then just money. Yeah. So next turn, we have a nice play. Potentially. All right, just yeah, just popping the Spin Doctor for Nickel campaign fully operational. So we need to play the sure gamble for sure. That's 1-2. And we want to trigger Maw as well. We can run first to see if we hit an agenda, because then we have to install something to keep Paladin alive. Okay. So we did not trash the big deal. And then I think our last click can be just to draw a card. And Hoshiko flips. We really want to see moshing now so that we can get rid of all these, put all these breakers in the bin. Could also trash Steelskin Scarring with it. Using Seamless but without scoring the card is unconventional. But I feel like we can't contest that right now. So I'll leave it alone. I barely have breakers. Played the Steelskin and we got a moshing, so that's nice. I think, yeah, in order to not have to discard, we're gonna moshing this turn. And then just prepare for the boomerang play next turn, where we can boomerang HQ and make a run there. And now Hoshiko flips back as well, so we get the credit value again. Global Food Initiative. That's fine. It's not a score that gives tempo, so that's good. So here, yeah, the play we want to make is boomerang on HQ and then run HQ. But we could first draw a card in case we get DreamNet or something. That is the kind of something I'm talking about. Dirty laundry we can use here. Actually, I could still draw another one, I suppose. Well, so if we run and we hit an agenda, and if the ice is not rest, we might want the extra click to make sure we trigger Maw. So we'll make the run first. Yep. Laundry HQ. So if this is something we can... Oh, and it isn't. Oh, wait, no, it is. So... Yeah, it's a Bran. We can break 2 of the subroutines with Boomerang and 1 of them with a click. This is, I guess, another reason to save a click here. To not use the last click. Okay, so we definitely want to hippo this. And now we get to... access something. Fully operational. What did we Maw? Face down card. So we can shuffle Boomerang back, but do we want to do that? Because we have one in hand. I'd say no. There are other cards we rather want right now. DreamNet is one of them. Paperclip is one of them. Click 1 install. Fully operational, but only for 1 extra trigger. That's good for us. But of course, we need to find our breakers, or things are not going great for us. Alright, so we got daily cast. Again, we want to draw before running. Because we might get DreamNet, but we did not. Which we are very sad about. So the question is, so if I draw here and get DreamNet, we're gonna overdraw. Yeah, we do the same logic as last time, so we run first. Hit fully operational. And we also trash fully operational. Wonder if this is a good time to check archives for agendas. If we get any, then Poemu will get more money on him, which is a side benefit. Maybe before any spin doctors are used. I'm not sure. Another option is to just run again. Could be a good time to check. All right, nice. So my instinct was correct. We get an extra credit on Poemu. Can use to install the daily cast. Another fully operational? No way. I feel like, is that the third this game or more? A lot of them, well, they've been shuffled back a lot, but now there's only 1 left in the deck. And we draw our last breaker, which is cool. Well, makes sense to check the server that we can get into for free, basically, I guess. So I'm gonna try that. Wait, of course we should use Bravado to do that. And they're being nice. Probably should also draw before making that run. But what's done is done. That is risky, just installing. I would not advise for people to do that. Okay, so we can boomerang this other server. Install a hippo. Run it. If it's not an agenda, we get a Maw trigger. It's Fairchild. So we don't need the orchestra right now. So we'll just pay the 3 credits. And another agenda, so it seems like they're just flooded. This boomerang I think we shuffle back to still have the option to use it on ice where it's very efficient. Because even if we have all the breakers, they are going to be very inefficient against some kinds of ice. Like Fairchild, for example, boomerang is good against, I would say. It's 9 to break completely with orchestra, but with a boomerang it's a bit less. 3 plus 2 and a click and a card. There's the last fully operational. Okay. So we don't have the last breaker in the bin yet. We could just install it. Could also just run HQ, I guess. And there's the other option of running the Fairchild, paying 3 clicks just to get the access here. But then we can hippo the Fairchild. Yeah, Some options. I kind of, since he doesn't have that many points, I kind of like the idea of maybe taking a turn off to draw some more cards. Maybe we get a moshing. But if there's Biotic Labor or something in the deck, we know there's Big Deal, but wonder if there's Biotic Labor. So if this is a 3-2, then you could win outright. Hey, look, Nukem. So we draw a card, click 1. Draw one more, click 2. Yeah, so we want to pitch the paperclip, I guess. So we'll give them one turn. Maybe we shouldn't, but now we're fully set up to make whatever runs we want on the next turn. We can play Stargate. We can Bravado HQ. Oh, yes, he cannot undo, of course. Oh, I have to write it as well. It was just a Maryland campaign. So server 2 is looking a lot like an agenda. And yeah, the main way we lose here is to a 3-2, where an agenda score now and then an agenda getting fast advanced out. So it looks like the score is coming. There we go. And there could be another agenda. So I think we have to check that card. Well, we could also just Stargate. So was the big deal discarded before? No, there should still be a big deal in hand. Okay, this is a border control. I guess we hippo that. And then Fairchild. Okay, this, while not perfect, it means for sure that an agenda cannot be fast advanced right now. And buys us a lot of time. And also, since he's at 0 credits, means we can run wherever. So I'm gonna break the end the run here. And then let it fire and trash the orchestra. Because that costs 3 anyway. And it was a virtual piece. We win the game. Good game. I'm guessing there was no fast advance, and that's why they went for that play. That was, yeah, maybe the only try that I don't check that server. I don't know. So finally a win. I'm gonna take just a short bathroom break, and I'll be back in, I don't know, like 3 minutes. So see you soon. And it's gonna be more Hoshiko games, of course. Alright, we are back with some more Maw Hoshiko. Here's a game we can join. So, it had 1 win, one loss due to unnecessarily risky play. This looks like a terrible starting hand, so we're gonna mulligan this. Yeah, not a lot of economy. Fermenter is economy, but long term. And we only need 1 Maw, not 2. This is a lot better. So against the outfit, they of course usually play hard-hitting news and stuff. So we want to be a little bit careful, especially early on. If it's a rig shoot kind of build, we have some built-in resistance to that because we have bin breakers and we have boomerangs and botulas if we lose breakers. But also might want to be careful so that we don't get hit by arc lockdown. Yeah, so here's the question. How greedy do we want to be? Because we could play DreamNet and Dirty Laundry on R&D. Puts us at 5. When we flip, we will be at 7. And we could also click for some more credits. Maybe it's a little bit too greedy. But a play that isn't as risky as just Laundry R&D and clicking for credits. That seems kind of fine. Draw. So if we Laundry R&D, we go to 8. We'll flip to 10. We can click for 2 more, be at 12 and have a link. Then we are pretty safe against hard-hitting news. So let's do that. We see Bulwark. I'm gonna take a note. And take 2 credits. We're pretty close to some nice moshing value here. We need 1 more good targets because we want to keep the Maw and DreamNet. They are both really nice to have. All right. We could be super greedy here. Play DreamNet, Maw, and Dirty Laundry. That puts us at 5. No, it puts us at 6. We get a card. And we can play Mushing to put us at 9. Oof, do we want to be that risky? I mean, maybe if it's one of those fast advance outfits, then sometimes really want to start disrupting them early. That might be a little too risky though. For the DreamNet, Laundry R&D. Spin Doctor. That's okay. We still want the money. And then we play the moshing. We have 3 good targets. And we can play the Paladin here. It's looking nice. One thing to note is we do not have Citadel Sanctuary in this list. Maybe you want to be on 1 copy to have some more protection against all that stuff. Have an easier time clearing tags, a way to prevent meat damage. But of course, another way to, at least if it's against the outfit, a way to get around it is just to be very careful. But sometimes that means you're too careful. And you end up not doing a lot of things because you're scared about all the things that can happen to you. I don't know that Citadel solves that though, I guess. Okay. So now there's ice. So the one that we saw was Bulwark. Doesn't mean that Bulwark was installed on HQ. It could also be on server 1. If we Bravado R&D, there's not a lot of ice that we're scared to be hit by. Rig Shoot doesn't work because we... Well, I mean, if it's a Trebuchet, we could lose our DreamNet, which is kind of annoying. But it's not the end of the world at the same time. We have to think a little bit. Also, HQ is a nice bravado target. I'm just kind of liking the option of going for R&D because we saw a bulwark, but maybe it makes more sense that the bulwark was installed on the remote. Yeah, maybe let's just bravado the remote. We're trying that. I guess you want bulwark on the most important server. You could argue it's the remote, at least until Stargate is installed. Border control. That's not what we wanted to see. That fires. Maybe bulwark is on R&D then, but then he doesn't have enough to res it. Let's try to go for it. Yep, looks like probably the bulwark is there. So that's nice. We get to trash this. And we can install the Maimi and a daily cast. Seems good. Well, it could be above the law. It is. So does he get rid of daily casts here or DreamNet? He gets rid of DreamNet. That makes some sense. But yeah, if this is what we think it is, R&D has bulwark, which means it can't be rest, and we have Maw to start trashing cards out of hand, or we can go for Stargate. We could draw before we make a decision on that too. Draw deuces. I guess Stargate is the best. It's more controlling. We see a Project Atlas. Also a Whoredom, but I don't know if that's something that we care about. Because we could trash the Whoredom and then just go and access the Atlas off the top. I guess getting rid of ice is nice, because... Well, I don't know. If Whoredom is installed on R&D... Yeah, I could also trash Hedge Fund. You shouldn't be helping me, Asker. Yeah, trashing Hedge Fund probably makes the most sense, because he's low on money. We don't care about the ice that much. Yeah, I agree. Let's go get this agenda. That makes a lot of sense. So now he will draw Whoredom. And yeah, if that's installed on R&D, we can install the Hippo and still Stargate. Yeah, just guess and ask her. Fair enough. Yeah, it was the best play. Ice is irrelevant. Well, not irrelevant, but not that great right now. Oh, there's too big to fail. Maybe he wants to econ warfare and tag us. But we have a lot of money. Black Orchestra is in the bin, yeah. We have Black Orchestra and MK Ultra. I'm missing my DreamNet. But we have all of our breakers. We have Drip. We have Hippo and we have access to our Maw. So we can't be that sad. Alright, so if this is a bulwark like we expect it to be, we can install the paperclip and make a run. Then we would also like to play Hippo so that we can trash the bulwark in case. But bulwark has 8 strength. We have to pay 7, that's a lot. So what would the play be? Sure gamble, sure gamble. How much money do we need? We kind of want to stay out of hard-hitting news range as well. So we can play sure gamble. Well, we kind of want the Hippo. There's a lot of things that we want to do at once. So maybe this turn we don't go for it yet. So sure gamble gives us +6. We're at 21. Play these two puts us at 15. We're around this Stargate. We can break the bulwark for basically 6, be at 9, and he would be at 7 because he gains money from the outfit. I guess that's acceptable. Oh yeah, I forgot the discount from Paladin. Actually, I think we can do this turn. And we don't necessarily need to play the sure gambles preemptively. Wait, so we'll be at 11. Make the run. Yeah. Okay. Let's try it. Because we want to be denying agendas and fast advanced pieces. I guess there is a consideration here. What if it is not bulwark? I mean, I'm pretty sure it is, but what if it's not? I feel like other agendas he probably would have rest earlier. Oh, sorry, our other eyes. Yeah, let's target. He would have rest the other stuff, I'm pretty sure. Alright, yeah, so he lets us through. Maverick's Audacity, too big to fail. So the too big to fail can't be played right now, it's good later. Audacity is a fast advanced piece, which we wanted to get rid of. So that's a pretty good target, I think. So let's get that one. And I'll play Sure Gamble to be as safe as we can be. So now he draws Maverus. We're gonna assume that the ice on server 1 is Hordem, because that's the one we saw. He draws an extra card, so that means he now has too big to fail as well. Too big to fail. And installs an ice on R&D. So he wants to stop the Stargate value. Now, we have not seen this ice. We don't know what it is. So one idea is to run with Stargate, force the Bulwark res, then maybe drop Maw and hit HQ to start trashing pieces that way. And then he'll be at 2 bad publicity. Yeah, let's try. So I guess normally this would not be rest. But it is. And it is a Hortum. Maybe that was the one we saw. Doesn't have to be. So we can install Black Orchestra and break this. We can hippo it. Yeah, we're sort of fine with this. We hippo it. Continue. So if this is the Bulwark, we're still okay with that. It taxes us a little bit, but he has to, yeah, he has to pay 10 to res it. And we still get to see cards with Stargate. Bulwark. Hostile takeover and economic warfare, I think it is. Yeah, so I'll just put the agenda in archives. So we didn't access a card with Hoshiko, but this might be the turn to actually do that. We can draw first, because we want to flip her and get the money, and then the draw next turn. And we can also get a credit on Mamie. Yeah, so we draw. Try to get the agenda. And then sure gamble in case there's too big to fail an economic warfare to try to tag us. So now he should draw Bulwark. There's too big to fail for the 3rd bad pub. And we get some draw. Yeah, so this might be the turn to drop them off finally. We start to hit HQ maybe. So we managed to protect the Bulwark from Hippo. We don't have another Hippo right now anyway. And this could just be a 3-2. But I feel like this turn is one where we... So, yeah. One card we knew was Bulwark. That is probably... Could be the ice that was just installed on R&D. I think just install the Maw and hit HQ. Is good. There's a lot of bad pub now to make these runs better. Trebuchet is annoying. We need to break it. And it's very expensive. Resing Spin Doctor, so there are agendas. We can... And we know he has economic warfare then. Of course, the problem now is we're not really safe against hard-hitting news. But we do have Maw. So I'm thinking one play here is just to install the Botulus on the Trebuchet. And then next turn we can get in one more time, trash another card. Draw one time. It's not, it's not perfect at all. But if there are agendas, we can go for kind of Hail Mary play next turn. Get a Hippo. Install the Botulus on HQ, I think. Yeah, so this might be where we lose to hard-hitting news. Yeah, I don't know why, but I wasn't really thinking about Trebuchet as an option. Okay, but I guess we were lucky for now, because he just scores a hostile takeover. Yeah, so we could get a free access here on the Botulus. But we have 3 counters here on the Mamie. And I kind of don't want to trash it. We're very low on money. Although it feels like, I don't know, if he could tag us last turn, maybe he would. Maybe he was scared of the attack on HQ that would follow. Drawing Bravado here would be so perfect. Okay, let's try to draw first. Well, there is also the play of Hippo, then just running HQ a bunch of times. That doesn't seem that bad. But then, yeah, we would have to trash a card to Mamie. At the same time, though, we could just... We don't really care about the cards we have in HQ right now. So maybe that's okay. Yeah, how hard do we want to go here? How hard do we need to go? I kind of like the aggressive play, so I'm gonna do it. Might be another case where we just waste our chances for no reason. But let's go for this. No, it was a game. We stole the regulatory capture. He could have scored this last turn, I think. So he probably should have. Kind of made sense. He had drawn a lot of cards. Maybe he could just overdraw and pitch some agendas too and shuffle them back with Spin Doctor instead. Yeah, scoring right away seems good. Oh yeah, so he wanted the money from the hostile, so he took the risk. Oh, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't want me to Stargate. I mean, he did have a Spin Doctor though. All right, another win. That's nice. I got time for more games, so let's keep it rolling. If someone actually wants to join this time, we will see. All right, we're up against Big Pop on PE, which is a nasty matchup. It depends on the build, of course. And I think against PE we can keep this. We have a lot of drip, so that's nice. Yeah, I'll keep. Kind of a perfect starting hand. The fermenters should give us a lot of value. We have to be careful to not install too many cards right away against PE, because we can just die out of nowhere. Yeah, actually, okay, so he's just installing 3 cards. Like, one of these could be Reaper function, and then we just die if we... this is the good old PE early game. Do you run or do you not run? I guess Reaper function into Sting is not possible. There's not enough money. But something that is possible, well, it is possible if there's a Rashida giving more money. So what do we do then? I think I'll chill for now. Draw a card. Draw one more, I think, and install 2 fermenters is probably the play. We install these first because they represent 2 credits per turn. Oh, it's a Bladderwort deck? Okay. Interesting. So, and he got a really good starter here where he has 2 Bladderworts on the board right away. So this one has an upgrade. Presumably it's Hokusai Grid. So we got to be careful not to die to a Sting Score or something like that. And Nasex can always activate the Bladderwort here. We want to make a draw. Yeah, I guess just another draw. We get rid of the Bladderwort and take a credit. Flip Hoshiko. So we shouldn't die here. The most important thing is that we don't die straight away. Oh, he needs to underturn. Okay, so it's not Hokusai, it's a Warrior Tracker, making this a lot more expensive to trash. So this is gonna be one of those really grindy, frustrating games, probably. So my approach, I guess, will be to take it kind of chill for now. I can draw to start with. So we want to play Stargate at some point, but it's still a bit early. Next turn, maybe we can pop a Fermenter and play the Stargate. If he doesn't purge. And if we don't lose it to net damage, of course. Get the Paladin out. Try to play carefully. Yeah, but my fear of running means he can do things like this and just get Rashida. But there was also the fact that I didn't want to run because... Oh, he has to go apparently. Just concedes. Well, who knows how that game would have gone. Looked like we were maybe in some trouble because it was hard to get rid of his board. But who knows. Alright, up against Jemison should be a better matchup for us. And what to do with this hand, because we have a lot of stuff that we want. The Burst Economy, Daily Cast. Don't really want the Breakers on the starting hand, but maybe that's fine. I think that's fine. Alright. Yeah, so an approach I like here is just bravadoing HQ. Maybe sure gamble first to lower the odds of losing an important card to Mausolus. Makes some sense. And yeah, who knows what's in server 1? Could be Rashida, could be Spin Doctor, could be Malapert maybe. So he presses the cat. That's okay. We still want the Hoshiko access to flip her. Check this one. Okay, it's Rashida's. We get rid of it, of course. Just install the daily cast. Scoring a hostile takeover, okay. It's fine. So we just draw. Okay, moshing here is nice. Pitching all these. We could draw into a mosh or something. Stargate. Perfect. We start stargating. And that means Hoshiko still flips, so it's good. Divested Trust, so there's an agenda. This looks like a really strange deck. There's Nico campaign in this Jemison, I don't know why. But yeah, let's pitch the agenda. And he can draw the Nico campaign. Of course, the Nico campaign is even less useful when there's bad publicity. As we're basically just paying 1 credit to trash it. So now we know that he has Nico in hand. And next card will be Hedge Fund. Oh yeah, I'll turn down the... I thought I turned it down enough, but let me know if it's still too loud, Cat, after this. So I turned it down a little bit. Nice on R&D. Action to draw a card. Yeah, and that was the hedge fund. Playing the hedge fund. Okay. And we have not seen what this ice is. We have Orchestra and MK Ultra. Let me... Yeah, so this turn... Let's draw. I think I just play the Steel Skin. We want to see more cards as quickly as possible, I think. Oh, this is kind of neat. I could play the Paladin and Mad Dash the Divested Trust. Because we want to be accessing cards anyway for Hoshiko's ability. So let's try that. We have 2 points, we get to flip Hoshiko. And we're just looking for the last breaker and our console. And more money, I suppose. Okay, so he managed to score another hostile. Puts him at 2 bad pubs, so it's really easy to get into servers right now. Fenris, okay. Steelskin. That's nice in combination with moshing. So the last 2 clicks will just be from enter and sure gamble. We save the rest of the cards until later. Paperclip would be great now because we can get through Arquette for free as it stands because there's 2 bad publicity. So he would need to double advance the eyes to actually make it taxing. We would like to use moshing on the Steel Skin. That's another nice card. Dreamnet, we don't really want to moshing it away. We do want to trigger Hoshiko, so we could play Dreamnet, make a run. See a card. We get our console, which is good. Yeah, I think so. Do we just install it now? I think so. Yeah, let's do that. But yeah, we are a bit slow this game to see all of our breakers and really start interacting. So if he has good ways to just fast advance agendas out here, he may be too fast for us, but we are about to get to the point where we can start interacting. We should be able to see a boomerang or a paperclip soon. Notably, if he wants to keep this Arquette, needs to double advance it soon, or we have the option to hippo it. But maybe it's not the best hippo target anyway. The eyes on R&D might be more important because we can Stargate. Alright, looks like there's gonna be... what's that card called again? Oh, but didn't use it. The thing you can play in Jemison that forfeits an agenda and then lets you place an extra advancement the first time you advance. I don't remember what it's called. Alright, so now we have to draw. Still don't see breakers. That's very sad. I think we run HQ and we kind of hope that, or we run R&D and we hope that there's no barrier there. That's a play. Yeah, Oberth Protocol is the card I was thinking about. Yeah, we're hoping that this ice is something we can break, so we can trigger Maw. Because I don't want to wait another turn with interacting. The upgrade could also be a Malapert, of course. This is a problem sometimes, you just don't find your breakers. But I would say it's somewhat easier for Anarchs. You have a lot of easy draw. The boomerangs are supposed to smooth it out a bit, but we just didn't find any of them. And there's a copy of Botulus as well. Oh, it's Tithonium. Not forfeiting. That's uncomfortable. Because yeah, we can't break it. So he just gets to trash a bunch of stuff. That seems like the absolute worst case scenario. I didn't even think about this card, but I should have, I guess. Well, we can't break it, so... Yeah, we lose everything. The Stargate, the Fermenter, the Dreamnet. Because we couldn't find our breakers. And I got impatient. Now these cards, I wonder what they are. I assume Spin Doctors, but I don't know. Sometimes Jemison plays Erdica Ciphers as well. But if it's that, I'm okay with it. Let's try to see. Yeah, Spin Doctor. We don't want to leave a Spin Doctor on the board because it makes it easier to Audacity without leaving agendas vulnerable in archives. Nico is okay. We don't trash it because then we can trigger Maw. And then we do trash it. And I guess we install the daily cast. This is a weird game. I feel like there should be an agenda scored at any moment, but there still isn't. If we get a paperclip next turn, we can start hitting HQ. I also want to get into the remote and get rid of those upgrades. Okay, maybe there was a trap in the remote because he just trashed the card when installing the new one. So it might be one of those Jamisons that try to trick you into killing yourself. Yeah, I still want the paperclip. Still can't find it. Ah, the pain of playing Netrunner sometimes, where you just don't find your breakers. Well, we dig even harder then. Find a boomerang. That's something. Do we use this to attack the remote or no? I'm not sure. Tithonium is fine. We could just pray that we hit the right card with boomerang. Let's try it. I don't want to be allowing this score. Yeah, okay. It was pretty greedy. Since it's border control, we don't get in. We can pitch a fermenter. Feel like we don't need more money and we don't have time to use them anyway. So whatever this is can be scored probably. But that's not happening for now. Okay. Taking an action pack. So advancing that card even more. Huh. Like if it's a trap, wouldn't he just let me access it on the last turn? Maybe not, because it wasn't a kill. I don't know. We still need paperclip. Yeah, now I'm feeling like probably I should have just been hitting HQ here. But you live and you learn. Draw another boomerang. So I could get into HQ. And I could hippo the Arcade. Yeah, I mean, let's try to go for it because I don't want to wait another turn with interacting. We break both of these, we can hippo it, and we continue. And now we finally... Oh. He's resing Oberth Protocol on HQ, which is really interesting. Yeah, it allows you to put advancements take a card from the hand. Drone deployment, which kind of likely is the card in the remote, and maybe he just hasn't scored it because he wants us to have a program for him to trash. So what we want to do, we didn't trash the drone deployment. We can trash this Oberth for free. Not that it does anything, so I guess that was just a mistake, because you can't advance a card from HQ. We can shuffle back the boomerang, and I think install Fenris. To get Steve. Then we can install Fermenter next turn. Another Oberth rest. Oh, and it's Clearinghouse for game. Well, there was no way to stop it. That was a ridiculous game. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. I'm still in the mood for more games. I'll take a 2-minute break and then I'll be back. All right, we are back. Let's do another game with Hoshiko. And yeah, so we we lost that game against Jemison. It's kind of an unlucky game. We didn't find the right breakers in time to like interact with him properly. But also there's the JNet problem that you're facing a Jemison. You don't know what the list is. It could basically be anything. So you're playing around Urtica ciphers and then you get hit by Clearinghouse and so on, because you don't know what the actual win condition is. Now we're up against sports. 3 Fermenter is good. Maybe I should have kept, I don't know, but sports usually has Mavericks to potentially purge, and we want some cards that give us some speed against sports, I think. I think Bravado to force a rest could be good. Let's start with that, I guess. Eli. That seems unusual. 2 clicks to see the card, and we get 1 more credit. Is that a fair trade? Sure. In case it's a Rashido or whatever. Pirate work crew, okay. We don't care about that. We install the daily cast. This is already one of the weirdest sports lists I've seen in a while. So it has Byroid Work Crew, Eli and subliminal messaging, so you can use that to you can trash the work crew to install a card after you play an operation. So apparently he thought he had a combo, but he doesn't. Yeah, we undo turn. So he's just taking money instead. So I guess he's keeping the subliminal messaging to be able to do whatever the combo was. So I guess we start by drawing. We probably want to force the Spin Doctor to be popped, because you can de-res it with Elivagar and get more cards. But we have 3 more clicks, so we could use 1 click to draw, 1 click to force the pop, and 1 click to install the Poema. We're looking for cards to pitch to moshing. Right now it's only MK Ultra, the other ones we want to keep. So now he's doing some combo. Oh, so yeah, the combo is just installing a 3-2 in this way. Oh, a 3-1 in this case. That's kind of cool. We will probably be denying the value from Subliminal, because we are running a lot with Hoshiko. So before we laundry, we want to draw. And we can draw again before laundry. And we just laundry HQ, I think. Which one? Unfortunately, we haven't seen the cards that give us value for running, like Maw and DreamNet. Those are the ones that we want to see. The earlier we can start getting money from those once per turn effects, the better. So install, hedge fund install. Okay, Stargate is nice. Maybe we want to check if server 3 is a Spin Doctor before we Stargate. So he gets some money, but that's okay. Put the Stargate on the table. And this is usually the game plan against sports. You just control their draw with Stargate. So we can trash the drafter here and allow him the Eli. Trashing Mega Priest is not that necessary. It's not good yet, I think. If they have to score the first Mega Priest themselves, it's not that great. And Eli, we can actually hippo through it. So let's just play a Gamble. Oh, it's a Rashido, so he's gonna draw Eli and Mega Priest. Gotta take notes of that. Yeah, and I guess now we can't be sure if that's Eli or not. I think we draw a card first. Drawing too many moshings. I mean, we have too much cash anyway, so we can trash the Sure Gamble, I suppose. See some new cards. And no, not really what we wanted, but yeah, we draw one more. Play a daily cast. We have Orchestra now as well. gotta stay hydrated. Okay, so his advance is something. Kind of know that he doesn't have Spin Doctor then. Wondering what the upgrades could be. Like we don't really know what kind of sports list this is. Could be core damage sports and then it's Jupe stat grid and he's gonna start dealing core damage to us. But seems like the safest here is to keep Stargating. So we boomerang the ice on R&D. We hit Stargate. We break it and I think we get rid of it too. Okay, it's a list with off-world office. We want to get rid of Fairchild because that's really annoying ice. And then we can hit the off-world office. So it might be one of those sports that's more like a PD. We try to hit the off-world. And we know he's going to draw a magnet now. If it is one of those PD lists, yeah. So then Mega Pre is still in hand somewhere. So we know there's magnets in hand and we know there's a Mega Pre. So we drew the boomerang. But we don't need it right now. So maybe we moshing here in the hopes of seeing a DreamNet. I think so. And we do see a DreamNet, so that's perfect. Played the DreamNet, use the Stargate, get a card. We can ditch Vitruvius and we can steal it right away as well. Which I think we'll go for. It could be Mavericks in Archives, but we have so much money we don't care about. Okay, it's a Mega Pre. That's still okay, I think. So it's pretty likely he can play Biotic and score a Mega Pre or something now. But we're at 6 points, we only need to find one more agenda. Which means HQ is probably vulnerable. And hey Baramwu, nice to see you on stream or in chat. Yeah, it was only a matter of time. I was thinking it was gonna be later, but with the new ban list I was pretty excited to play the game and I was like, if I'm gonna be practicing anyway, I might as well show some of the ideas on stream and just show some of the practice games. Because I'm streaming anyway. At the moment I have a lot of free time, so fuck it, you know, let's show some gameplay. Yeah, and excited to be doing it. This stream is already more popular than most of my streams. I mean, makes sense because I come from Netrunner, but it's fun, it's exciting. Right, so kind of guessing that this asset right here is Spin Doctor. So we get rid of it. And also, there was a guy requesting it on the channel as well, so I felt even more incentivized to go and have a stream. Plus, this meta is really exciting to me. Perfect, on the train ride home, nice. Yeah, I'm glad to see all the engagement. Oh, it's a magnet. I guess we saw the magnet, but we're okay. As long as we see an agenda now, we're happy. We do not see an agenda. I think that's still okay. I think we try to roll the dice on HQ then. Get rid of the Fairchild, because that's the most annoying ice. And we just try to find an agenda in HQ. It's Mavericks, purging our 6 virus counters. But still, I mean, maybe credits will be a factor now, but as it stands, it still is not. Oh, that's a luminal. That's always annoying to face. Ah, did we just throw the game? Well, I don't know. Can't really guarantee getting into that server anyway. Yeah, and if that's a gatekeeper, we can still break it. So he used the ID ability to draw, meaning we know that he drew work crew and a gatekeeper. There can only be one spin doctor left in the deck. So work crew, gatekeeper. Alright, so this is a mess. Yeah, so this list plays Eli, which kind of makes me think that maybe it doesn't play Hagen. It's still risky to Stargate here because we could just lose our Stargate. The only ice we've seen is Eli in terms of barriers. I'll try to hit server 5 to get rid of potential spin doctor there. It's Rashida. We draw Madash, which of course we don't care about. Yeah, this is scary. Try to Stargate. Hope that this is the gatekeeper that we saw. It is. And we need to see an agenda, otherwise we need to find an agenda in HQ. And the spin doctor is in the deck. We see it as the third card, so we know that this is game mode. So we got a win. Nice. It looked like a really weird sports deck, but I mean, it wasn't that weird, but it was playing some weird combos with subliminal messaging and work crew. So GG. Nice. I think I'll do one last game, and that should wrap up this stream. We've seen plenty of Maw Hoshiko for the day. Yeah, I think he's right that the work crew is not better than Biotic Labor. You just have to work harder for the scores with the work crew. All right. Yeah. Up against Saraswati, so that's incredibly unconventional. So this could be exciting. So this hand is like almost good. If we had a Sure Gamble or something, it might be good. But yeah, 2 paladins means this is... Well, maybe it's still good. Maybe we just care that there's Maw, and we have Steel Skin for net damage. We have Poemo to make the Maw cheaper. Yeah, maybe we keep. It's really nice to have Maw in the starting hand. Maybe get some early triggers. Let's go for it. Because, yeah. We probably can't Maw the first turn. But it's not that unlikely that we can do it on the second turn. Yeah, because credit Paladin Maw is 4 clicks. But we can... Oh, asking if I can zoom in. Yes? Oh, I was asked this before, and yeah, I didn't do it. Maybe this is better. I hope so. I'll try to keep it in mind for future Netrunner streams. Maybe this is too zoomed in, but I'll zoom out if needed, I suppose. Yeah, so just as well to draw, I think. And now we can laundry HQ. And if we don't take net damage, we can play the Paladin fermenter for sure. Of course we hit a snare. But we were lucky. We didn't lose. We lost our Paladins, so that kind of sucks. But we did not lose our Maw. So we were still lucky, you could say. So we clear the tag, play fermenter. We wanted the Hoshiko trigger, so got a bit greedy. Okay, so we can't go for a Maw trigger this turn because he iced HQ. It's too risky. We'll just get hit by some nasty damage. So we draw. And we draw. I think it just... We could overdraw because we have 2 Maws. But then again, I don't know, pitching cards against net damage is always a tough call because you could use them as hit points too. But we need to see more cards regardless, I guess. I guess if we keep it for next turn, there's the potential to draw into moshing, and then we can use it for that too. So maybe we'll wait a turn and just click for credit this turn instead. Flip Hoshiko back. So I could leave the tag. Yes, I could. Yeah, it's not the worst idea to leave the tag. Right, so here do I just play the steel skin maybe? I think so. Probably a bit greedy to try to go for something better. Oh man. It's not what we want at all. So bravadoing and face checking ice against Jintekis is not ideal at all. So let's not do that. So we're gonna run archives to get the 2 credits from Hoshiko. And I think just Hippo, and then we can pitch the paperclip. Take a credit. Yeah, we're not really getting rolling. We have this fermenter ticking up though, so we could leave it for maybe 1 more turn. If we want to... I don't think that's too greedy. We got the first use of Saraswati this game. And advancing it again. So we know that it's a card that can actually be advanced. Saraswati can be used on cards that cannot be advanced. We'll get another breaker. So we're almost at the point where we can start interacting. I want to see more cards. Oh, yeah, nice. Finally, I'm watching. So now we can unlock some plays here. So we can trash the Orchestra, the Stargate, and 1 Maw. And then we can, I guess, play Sure Gamble and Maw. But yeah, he will be able to score whatever this is. But then we can pop the Fermenter for 10, which is good value. Okay, looks like he's going for it. And it's just a gene splicer, so not a big problem for us. Just one agenda point. Could have been a lot worse. A lot of good 4-2s that you can score as Jinteki. We still don't have our most important breaker, arguably, against Jinteki, the MK Ultra. Draw a card, try to find it. So I think maybe the play is run Arcase to flip Hoshiko, install Daily Cast, and pop the Fermenter. Actually, maybe not even pop the Fermenter. We're sort of pretty happy with him spending a turn on that, I think. I may be wrong, but I think that's correct. So we go... If he wants to spend the clicks, I'm happy to get another turn to try to find our breakers, because we're not in shortage of money anymore. And this Gene Splicer is just too slow. He really needed an agenda that accelerates his game. Although, still, if we just keep drawing cards, the odds of us taking too much net damage and running out of cards is... I mean, they are there. The risk is there. So Boomerang is good. It doesn't make us bulletproof against Anansi. But if this card is Anansi, we can draw once to kind of... Yeah, Cat is right. I definitely got punished for leaving tags. Still haunted by that game. Okay, so I draw one time, and then even if this is Artica Cypher, I should survive this. Even if it's an Anansi. It's a snare. That kind of sucks. Is there any good reason to trash this though? So we lost our Stargate, which sucks. But still, it's an expensive snare trigger. So if, yeah, I mean, we're playing on JNet and we don't know the full list, so we might just clear the tag here. Trashing means potentially opening up ourselves to Hangeki and stuff like that. And also we get a Maw trigger, of course. Yeah, we want the Maw trigger. So let's clear the tag to not die to end of the line or some stupid stuff like that. Yeah. Sometimes it's so tempting in Netrunner to go for the risky line and threading that needle where you go for the play that is just right, because you don't want to be too passive either. Okay. Another card installed with Saraswati, and this time we know it's advanceable. So it could be Urtica Cypher, but I'm actually sort of fine with that, if it is. Of course, yeah, there's the mind game here. Why would a card be installed if I could just go and get it, if it's something useful? But we do have Steel Skin, so even if it's Artica, we do get some draw. So let's try to go get it. Is this Artica? It's Obokata. Alright, so yeah, I don't know why this was installed, but we can just steal this and... Yeah, I'm even thinking about going super greedy and leaving it, drawing a card, and then mad dashing. But that may be... Actually, I don't know. Now I kind of feel like I should do that. Yeah, let's do it. Because I get a Maw trigger as well. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, let's go for the greedy play. We will get super punished if this is like Anemone or something. But we can't lose to punitive. I don't see a way to lose to punitive here. Now we just need another three-pointer, because clearly this deck, because it's a 49 card deck, so it's playing 7 3-pointers probably, because it's on Gene Splicer. You wouldn't be playing Gene Splicer, I believe, if you are on 1-pointers. Yeah, just using an action to draw a card, so it looks like we're going to survive this. If we do, we're pretty comfortable. Maw may already have trashed some 3-pointers. Trashing an ice, so the boomerang is no longer active. Okay. So what's the play here? Draw, Dreamnet, pop Fermenter, run Archive, something like that, I think. We finally have the MK. But our opponent is only at 1 card, so we're not in a rush to get it installed this turn. Yeah, let's go with this. Okay, no agendas in Archives. But now we have access to our last breaker, so we can finally start poking some holes in the defenses. And this should be a pretty straightforward win from here. Opponent doesn't have much money, they don't have points, don't have a lot of cards. And they don't have a way to deal a lot of net damage to us. So it looks like all of the angles are covered. I think if this is an agenda, I'm just gonna let it be. Maybe. Just install the MK. Try to hit HQ. Ronin. We can trash that. Jerk of Light. We get a Maw trigger. I think we check R&D as well. Yeah, all the snares are gone. So what are we really worried about? Ronin can do 3 net damage to us. That's all of the clicks. I guess if we run last tick, we could get hit by Anemone and then accidentally hit a Sting or something off the top. We could jack out if it's Anemone. So we could just check R&D here. In a safe way, I think. Yeah, let's check R&D. Break this Diviner. We save the Hippo for something bigger. We see Mind Game. It's an annoying ass. Alright, so no agenda was scored. Seems like it would have been if that was a good agenda. I think Botulus is good on the Diviner here. Cheap way to break it. So we just keep getting more triggers. Keep seeing cards at the top till we find That's a good trash. Get rid of the overwriter. We can pay 3 to see another card, I guess. We like to. And if it's not an agenda, we can get a Maw trigger. That's another overwriter. Do we just get a Maw trigger anyway? Yeah, because I mean, we know it, so it's not that threatening. We just install a fermenter, I guess. Yeah, if we know there's an overwriter in hand, we're not that scared of the overwriter. Drawing a card, drawing a card. So of course, drawing cards. So Ba says, Trick of Light suggests 3-1 or 3-2, so maybe Gene Splicer is more there as a trap. Yeah, that's... I feel like Trick of Light might just be there to make Ronins easier to use. Because, like, I don't see how you have slots for all of those cards that you want to be playing. Fenris is nice to start getting cards back. We could even get Stargate back. So Fenris. Place your gamble. Well, I'm not sure we need the money from the gamble. But regardless, let's go for this. So we want to get Stargates back. We found the overwriter. I think we'll just get a Maw trigger from that. No need to trash it really. And we accidentally trashed it anyway with Maw. I'll just preemptively install the Stargate. So the Stargate is like a big gun loaded. And it's not really possible to protect R&D. So the Diviner doesn't do much because of the Botulus. Any extra eyes here would lead to the threat of... Okay, another card installed. So yeah, first thing will be to check with Stargate if we're winning the game right now. We still haven't seen any Erdika ciphers, but it feels like there should be Erdika ciphers in this deck. Okay, so it looks like Ba was correct. There are 3 and 2 pointers. This deck is just stranger than I imagined. But here we can trash the Audacity and run R&D twice to win the game. I don't see a way that can be stopped. So let's do that. Yeah, it could only be stopped. No, yeah, even if this was a second Biovault, that's not enough to stop this. Because Saraswati means that he can't use that card until his next turn begins. Laundry, I guess, for fun. Yeah, so it was strange deck. It packs like all of the traps, Regenesis and Audacity. Classic JNet build where you don't know what's happening at all. Yeah, good game. All right. I feel satisfied for today. Yeah, we've seen a bunch of the Maw Hoshiko. It feels like a decent deck in this meta. Again, I have trouble finding runners, and this seems like a decent one. Not perfect, but has ways to disrupt the corp, both with Maw and Stargate. It has a decent amount of speed with moshing and stuff. A lot of ways to break ice with Boomerang and Botulus. So seems like one of the runners that should be in consideration. But yeah, I'm gonna keep exploring. So and it's been really cool to see so many people joining. So thanks for that. I'll probably be back with more Netrunner soon. I don't know when, but the idea will be basically the same. Practicing some deck idea, talking about the ideas. Maybe it's gonna be Corp next time. I don't know. I don't really want to make any changes to this Hoshiko list at the moment. It feels pretty good at what it does. So if we try different options, it probably is going to be just other runner decks that we can refine. So some of the streams will be sort of the process of deck building as well. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you guys soon. And I don't know how many of the Netrunner players are interested in this, but the channel is pretty general stuff. Well, not general stuff, but like it's going to be a lot of different games that I will cover. As you can see, there's already Harry Potter TCG stuff. I will soon probably be playing the finals of a Harry Potter TCG revival tournament that's going to be on stream. I'm playing Hearthstone. And pretty soon I'm planning on doing a Yu-Gi-Oh! Retro stream, WoW TCG retro stream. And yeah, so a lot of plans. And of course, the Netrunner practice is going to be good as well. And awesome to hear that you enjoyed it. It was great to have you guys' company during the stream, and yeah, and also you jumping in and being my opponent, Cat. That is much appreciated because no one likes to just sit and stare at an empty lobby forever. Then I just have to come up with stuff to say forever and ever, which I can do. I mean, there's a lot to talk about in Netrunner, but it's more fun to see the games. I guess that's what people are here for mostly. Yeah, and also during these streams, feel free to just ask random questions. I'll try to answer them whenever I have time. But yeah, that's it for now. I'll see you all next time, and cheers. Thanks for all the support.